Shadows of the broken moon. The moon hung fractured in the night sky, its jagged edges casting eerie shadows over the desolate earth below. This wasn't the world people once knew, a world of bright nights and gentle tides. The cataclysm had torn it apart decades ago, leaving the moon broken and humanity on the brink of collapse. Yet in the midst of ruins, whispers of survival persisted. Deep in the wastelands, a young woman named Ilera trudged through the crumbling remnants of civilization. Her dark hair was tied back, her clothes patched together from scavenged fabric, and her sharp eyes scanned the horizon. On her back was a battered satchel, and within it, a shard of glowing lunar rock, a fragment of the broken moon. It pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat, and its light was her guide. Ilera's village, buried in the Valley of Shadows, had relied on the old myths to survive. Legends spoke of the moon's fragments holding the power to heal the land and restore balance. The stories were often dismissed as desperate hopes, but when a fragment had fallen near her village, everything changed. Its presence brought warmth to the crops and purified the stagnant water, giving people a glimmer of hope. But hope attracted danger. The Iron Hounds, a ruthless band of raiders, had caught wind of the moon shard's power. They wanted it for themselves, not for restoration but domination. When they attacked the village, burning homes and scattering survivors, Ilera had taken the shard and fled. Now, she wandered alone, seeking the rumored Temple of Selene, a sanctuary hidden deep in the mountains, said to hold the secrets to the moon's restoration. Her journey was fraught with peril. The land was hostile, its air thick with ash and its creatures twisted by the cataclysm. Still, she pressed on, driven by a vision that haunted her dreams. The moon restored, whole and bright, its light healing the scars of a broken world. The Temple of Selene. Days turned to weeks as Ilera followed the shard's glow, which seemed to respond to an unseen force. One night, under the jagged sliver of the moon, she arrived at a massive stone archway carved into the side of a mountain. Ancient glyphs glimmered faintly, and the air hummed with energy. This was it, the Temple of Selene. Inside, the temple was a labyrinth of echoing chambers and glowing symbols. Ilera felt the shard grow heavier with each step, as if it was resisting her grip. Finally, she entered a vast chamber where a colossal mural depicted the moon as it once was, whole and radiant. Beneath the mural stood an altar, its surface etched with grooves and symbols that seemed to mirror the patterns on the shard. As Ilera approached, the shard leapt from her satchel, hovering above the altar. Light burst from it, filling the chamber and pulling at the other fragments hidden across the world. She felt the presence of something ancient, something alive, whispering truths into her mind. The moon was broken not by chance, but by greed and war. Only through unity can it be made whole again. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and the Iron Hounds burst into the chamber, their weapons gleaming in the shard's light. Their leader, a towering figure with a cruel smile, sneered at Ilera. "You think you can save the world with fairy tales?" he spat. "That power belongs to those strong enough to take it." But the shard pulsed violently, reacting to Ilera's resolve. She stood firm, her voice steady. "This isn't power to take. It's a gift to protect." The shard responded to her words, sending out waves of energy that disarmed the raiders and bound them in chains of light. One by one, they fell to their knees, awestruck by the shard's might. A world reborn. As the shard's light dimmed, Ilera knew her journey was far from over. The fragment she carried was but one of many, scattered across the earth. But she also knew she wasn't alone anymore. Word of her bravery spread, and others joined her quest, survivors, scholars, and even former raiders who sought redemption. Together, they traveled the broken world, collecting the scattered shards and piecing together the moon's fractured light. Years later, under a sky no longer shrouded in shadows, Ilera stood with her companions as the last fragment clicked into place. The moon, whole and radiant, shone down upon the earth, its light washing away the scars of the cataclysm. The world began to heal. Rivers ran clear, the soil grew fertile, and the stars once again sparkled in a sky no longer broken. And though her journey had ended, Alara's name lived on, etched into the stories of a world reborn under the light of a mended moon.